Institute, and we're very excited that you came to join us on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. It's a very fun activity. If you've ever seen Jose show his work, how many of you seen it in a notebook? Anyone? Oh, good. And I have too. It's so inspirational. I think, you're going to learn a lot, and I want to make sure I say it right because it's not watercolor, right? It's fountain pen and wash technique, right? Which is important. It's a different way of looking. I mean, certainly watercolor could come into play at some point because you do add watercolor at times, right? But today we're not. Today we're not. I do want to make you aware that we do have a schedule of events out in the front, and I also want to let you know that we have 2 new instructors. So if you're looking to take a class in drawing and painting on Wednesday morning, we do have a new instructor. Her name is Denise Stas, and she's doing the floral painting class, which is really fun. Also let's make sure I get the day right, we have Clinton Hobart who'll be doing Tuesday evenings, still life oil painting. And so that's a new class. So I'll turn it over to Jose so that he can get you going. This is a fun thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello everyone again. Good afternoon. Yes, I'm Jose F. Morales. Everyone calls me Joe. Now, someone asked me why the F, why Jose Morales? Because there is another Jose Morales who is very, very famous, exhibits in museum. His works go for the 6 figures. His last painting just sold in Barcelona for $60,000. I assure you it's not me. Wait. However, if you Google Jose Morales artist, I come up first.
Oh, yay!
So we're gonna start with a rectangle on the top that is a little longer and shorter on the side. Can you see that? You don't see it? You can see it?
Yeah.
You see it?
Are you using the smaller paper or the bigger paper?
The bigger, the single bigger paper. The single large paper.
Pick one.
Right?
That's the four. The four.
No, the single, there's the single one. You got it? Single?
Good.
Single. You don't have a single one? So for you. Ready? Okay. So now, we did a rectangle, right? And we're thinking about 3 values. So, on this one, the main tree is going to be white, light. So we're going to sketch it out. Remember, you don't have to be 100%. We are trying to get that ink out of the pen. So what we're doing is just making some sort of idea of the large shape. So we have the white shape of the upper tree, the background, and then a little bit of the lake. More or less. Again, you don't have to sketch 100%, you don't have to be very accurate. So we have more or less a shape. We are going to now go with the back hills, the mountains in the back. Notice this. Right? You're gonna do that. You're doing that?
Don't do that?
Don't do
No, I'm saying you are all doing that, correct?
Okay.
Why are we doing that?
Okay, and then now, with a brush loaded with water,
Okay. With a brush.
are you seeing? Somebody said, what do you mean? Do you see what I'm doing? Yes? You guys see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And it's more or less like a mid-value, right? In the background, a mid-value. Now, we are going to do the foreground, very dark. So remember when I was telling you, lines spread out, lots of water gives you a light to mid-value. Now, we are going to do the dark value. So what we are going to do is do lots of lines, closer together, right? Lots of lines, closer together. Now the same brush that you had wet before is right now moist. Just put it in there now. And notice how the shade, the value is darker. It's darker because you have more lines, but also you don't have as much water on your brush.
Would you wet this at all first?
The
don't
pen,
need it, yeah.
the pen, no,
You don't
you
want-
draw with a pen. With a pen, you do the lines,
Do the lines with the pen and then you wet your brush.
and then with the brush, you do the
Okay.
shading. Yes?
Yeah, you too hard, if you get a lot of lines.
Well, the lots of lines, what it means is that you waited a little too long.
Too late, okay.
And again, remember, that's why I said that the technique is an evolving technique. You
Yes.
will know what to do the next time. And
Okay.
basically what it is that once you do those,
Yeah.
if the lines show too much, it's because after you did it, you wait,
Oh, I got it.
and
So I
then,
waited too long between the lines and.
and the wash.
Okay, got it.
Ah,
Okay.
that makes the lines
So
stay.
it's not because I hit,
Yes.
it
Ah,
wasn't
you
because I
want
was
it to go
too heavy.
deep while it's wet.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah.
Because this is,
Yeah.
right, exactly. We are gonna do dry brush, but right now we're doing wash.
Got it.
We're doing different value wash, right?
You have to do the wash first.
Yeah,
Okay, wet it first.
thank you. We'll do the next one, guys, okay? The next one, the tree in the middle is dark. So we'll do a rectangle to the left. Right, there's the rectangle. Here goes my lonely tree. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Like I said, the tree now is gonna be the darkest. We have more or less the hills. Is everyone following so far? It's hard to see, right, guys? I'm so sorry. No, you could see it, right?
Yeah.
Could you see it? In the back, could you see it? In the back, you could see it, right? Okay. So now, because the tree is the darkest value, we are going to do lots of closed lines. Notice what I'm doing? Lots of closed lines, tight lines, very tight lines, right? And with the brush moist, not overly wet. Notice I waited a little bit, it's still good. So now, with a brush, moist, not overly wet, we're gonna darken that tree. Is everyone following?
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
great.
working, we're working.
Okay, do you guys see the tree? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now the distant mountains are the lightest, right? So we are going to do the foreground and the sky mid-valley. This is where sometimes, it could be problematic because the lines might show, or you didn't put enough water. So notice how I do it. Again, lots of lines, real close, less water gives you the darkest. Less lines, more water gives you your lightest value. So here I go. And lots of water. Brush again. It could be a little dark, but you get the idea. At this point, I won't get frustrated and start drawing on top of this because you'll start creating a mess. So you wait and you might do it again to get the right value. Now, one of the things that I will stress to you is that once you start seeing how your drawing evolves or how it reacts, depending on how much water or less water you put in, when you are sketching outdoor, try to plan your sketch. If you are doing dry brush, don't through a wet background and have to sit there and wait while that dries for your dry brush, because then you're gonna waste a lot of time, and before you know it, your light changes. And what you don't wanna do, and I stress this, is chase the light or the shadow, same thing. So give yourself like half an hour to an hour. Sometimes, look, I came back for this one twice, but also at the beginning, pick small subjects so that you learn how much lines to put for your dots, how much water to put in. Also, I gave you different papers because every paper, by the way, reacts differently. And there is a story with Nellie, which we will save for the end, which hopefully we will accomplish, because it is difficult since I don't have the same paper, but I know we can accomplish it. So again, work small, pick a subject that has dramatic value, contrast, and pick subjects that there's a lot of light area, because in watercolor, once again, the light area is your ground, and if you're doing a subject where if you are doing a subject, I mean, most people will just walk past this dead tree. But if you're drawing and you're doing this subject, notice that I chose it because all the heavy lifting has been done. The light is the paper itself. So what I'm doing is using lots of little lines, less water for my darkest, less lines, more water for my mid values. And again, choose subjects when you're out there sketching that are dramatic in contrast, but also that there's a lot of light in the subject, so this way you don't have to work hard. Okay?
Joe, I think you have a ringer here.
No.
Does everyone have a paper towel? It should have been in your bag.
There's lots of paper towels, I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
have it. I'll give it out if it's needed.
I'm so sorry. You should have that.
No, it could be. It is. It is.
Everybody should have.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. I wasn't gonna do a third one, but you guys got the point with this about, the changing the values on these sketches. I think what we should do is go on to the next exercise. The third one would have been maybe, the third one is the mountains being dark, and basically you're doing the same exact thing. I just, since there are things I want to discuss, I want to go into the next exercise instead of wasting time doing the third one here, if you guys don't mind. This one, I think what we are going to do an actual sketch. Again, I implore you not to work big as you're learning how to shade, because when if you're home and you want to do if you want to do detail work at home in the comfort of your studio, then why not use pen and ink? Why do this at home where you need to do so much dark area when it's a lot of work to get that in from here, using this into the ground. So the reason why this was proposed to us was convenience. Mr. Greenberg wanted us to do our value thumbnails, but he also wanted us to sketch as much as possible. So he felt that if you hinder yourself with equipment, your watercolor equipment, your oil paintings, I mean, at that time we used to use the French easel, which is, it should be outlawed because it is a wooden box, and carrying it with your supplies, I mean, it is terrible, terrible. I can't believe that we actually, the Bochet box from Siena, which I also own, it's still no difference. I had to make my own easel by using the blue box that we all have, where we hold our paints when we go home. I purchased the small one at Bleaks, which cost about $11.99. I put the mount of a camera. I bought a tripod secondhand for $19, and it is the lightest equipment that I ever had. The difference is 40 pounds for my regular supplies that I carry to paint versus this that only weighs 8 pounds. But anyway, so he proposed that by just taking this and drawing as much as you can that nature is your best teacher and that was the way to go. However, I know that some of my classmates in the West Coast that I haven't seen in about 50 years are probably going to see this, and they'll laugh when they'll remember this. This was Mr. Weaver. This was one of his favorite moves when he used to do this, and he was teaching us this, and he's drawing you, and as he drew you, he didn't use water.
I used to stop.
He wouldn't get away with that now.
What did he do?
but-
He didn't use the word?
But his, I'm sorry?
He used his tongue.
If you ever looked at his finger, it was all black. His tongue was also black, but some of my classmates are gonna laugh because he was known for that. But anyway, so once again, convenience. This is convenience. I cannot stress to you how important it is to sketch as much as possible. I didn't paint for quite many years because life happened. I did attend high school of art and design as a teenager, where I met my mentor, Mr. Greenberg. After that, I went to the Art Students League, and the reason I'm sharing this with you is because for about 34 years, I didn't paint consistently until I retired. I was supposed to retire after the pandemic, and I found this lovely place. This place here is amazing, not only because of the instructors that they have here and the community which has welcomed me, and I'm very thankful for that. But the fact is that, you know, when I came here about 3 years ago, it catapulted me into start working again. And it's frustrating when you get my age and you have to rediscover things over and over again, as if painting is not stressful enough. And so when I rediscovered this and I decided to take it this far, is number one, because of convenience. Number two, I realized when I found this paper from a company called Sugarwood, and the paper was made out of 100% cotton, handmade, and it just lent itself so well to the technique that I was obsessed. And I started detailing the work. I started doing this, but to my horror, the company changed the pages, as Jim can attest to this because he went and he bought a journal and they changed the paper. I was horrified because now I want to come and show you guys how to do this. However, the paper is not the same, but it is a godsend, and I'll tell you why. Had I been comfortable with the paper, doing this, I would have never had to experiment with new papers, and all of a sudden find out that I can do big dark washes, which is very hard, and we are saving it for last, because although we are shading with lots of lines, lots of little lines, less water, imagine doing a dark wash, doing with the same two tools. The reason why it's hard is because number one, I don't have the same paper. Number two, this is arches, and arches, what happens is that the ink stays on top. So you have to kind of let the water sip in, and then you dump your pen in there. But it's a trick, and we are going to try. We're going to attempt to do it here. But the trick is this, and that's what I told you: keep your pens like this. What happens is that when the ink accumulates out there, and you saturated the paper with a shaped water, and you put it in, lo and behold, wow, the ink runs there, and you can come and now shape your, the subject that you're doing. But again, had I not had to experiment, I would have never known about that. So that's why things happen for a reason. And remember the name Nellie. That's important because she is part of this experiment that we have. So we are going to do an actual landscape. Can I show you what she has on phone? There is we are going to do.
I can just send it.
By the way, how many people here go to the Ravit reservation? Who's familiar? Oh, all of you.
That's where I saw you.
painting.
Oh, okay, thank you. I have a couple of other people that were supposed to be here, but that's what happens with people when I'm out there sketching. Everybody wants to come, I'm gonna join, whatever. So this is the pine tree where you park, and you go down the broken steps. To the right, there is this majestic white eastern pine that when you, at a certain time during the day, when the light hits it, it's just wonderful, and that's that. This I've done many times, and I call it the Ramapo Grove. As you go the bridge after the river, instead of going straight and making a left to the waterfall, you go to the right, and there is this lovely grove that we are going to do. I call it the Ramapo Grove, and we are going to use most of the, so far what we know, to do some dry brush and regular values. Okay, I'm gonna put it here. Can everybody see it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so, like I said, I'm not going to do, you already saw the big one. See how it looks? And I want to do two more exercises. So for this one, let's say you guys can do it too. Let's do the bottom right here. That's the bottom. We won't do the top, but we'll do, let's say we're gonna do, I'm so sorry. If you look at your phone, there's a branch that comes down, like a little bit past the midsection. There's a branch that comes down. I'm gonna put it here and come down, that branch. The width of the tree, more or less, I'm doing the light tree, guys. So the width of the tree is the branch that comes down. The width of the tree is, let's say, more or less like here. Okay, guys, more or less, okay, more or less, nothing exact. We are going to try to get just the light area of that tree. Everybody got that more or less, that silhouette? Now, since I'm going to try to do, before I do the dark area in the back, I want to create the dry brush, the texture of the bark of the tree. And the way I'm gonna do that is, it seems like there's more texture a little bit to the right. So I'm gonna go make a couple of little lines like this, notches. Do you guys see those notches?
Yeah.
You see those notches?
Uh-huh.
Get crazy with it, do a whole bunch of them, because that's what's gonna give you the feeling of dry brush and the texture. Everyone seeing that, right?
Yep.
Now, this is important, and this is where we become superstars. Is everybody ready?
No.
For dry brush. Let me know when you're ready. There we go. Oh, future. Ready? Your brush. Wet your brush. Take out the excess. And just with one swipe from the bottom up on the right side of those notches, just go up. You guys see that? More or less?
Yep.
Now, you could get better with this as you practice. What happens is sometimes you go faster and you will see that it spreads. It looks like a bark, it has texture, but it takes practice. It takes practice. Now, the next step is important, and I will attempt to do the dark area. However, keep this in mind, and this is very important. So we have the dry brush. If we now, I'm talking about the right side of the tree. If I do the lots of little lines to create the dark area, I have to keep it away from the area that I just did the dry brush. Think about a marriage. They got divorced, they don't want to see each other anymore. So that's it. Okay, keep them apart, they don't get along. So I'm gonna do it on the top so that you could see what it is that I'm talking about. I need this area to be darker, so I'm gonna do lots of little lines. We'll call them chicken scratch for now. So we're gonna do a whole bunch of chicken scratch. Lots of chicken scratch. Then we are going to take the brush, wet it a little bit, take out the excess water, and go in there and get your dark area. Not going near your divorce partner, the bark of the tree. Right? You go next to it, but don't overlap it because it's going to start running. Do you folks see that? Right? And if you, for now, since we are not finishing it, you could even come down a little bit with a wet brush and just kind of grade it down. Yes? Everybody's following?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's do the other side. Now these side, they do get along, you know, you can visit them, visitation rights, you can go right next to it. And we'll do an interpretation or a notation of a tree that's back there. There's gonna be a little light and it has light and dark areas. We'll make some kind of notation that it exists there so that we can do the dark in between there.
I feel like the camera might need to be on the other side.
Yeah, because you're in the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on,
Because
hold
your
on,
hand,
hold on, stay. Can we see it?
Yeah.
Well,
No?
a little bit too far to the edge, so, yeah, Matt.
There we go, that's better.
That's better?
Yeah.
Much better.
yes.
Is that on the other side
Thank
of the,
you.
Well, it took you guys long enough to tell me, I'm sorry, I don't know. Can we see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Notice how much darker that became. It became much darker because I put the squiggly chicken lines closer together and I used less water. But so far, you see how we are sculpting the tree by doing the background, right? Everybody sees that, right? Ladies over there, right? You see that, right? Now, we are gonna go over to the left. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah. I'm gonna do some of the trees that are back here. And since I'm doing this sideways, this is good because I have an excuse not to draw well. I'm looking at it sideways, and these trees are a little darker. And in between, there's another tree here. Now guys, it's very difficult to kind of draw sideways, but you guys are seeing it, right? At least you're seeing it. And this tree here is like a mid-value. Has a little light right here. For mid-value, look what I do. I didn't do dry brush, I just filled it in. Are you guys seeing it or around the way? You can see it, guys? Yes, okay. And now, with water, not drenching, but pretty moist, straight down. This tree is mid-value. The one next to it is a little darker. So for the darker one, I'm using more lines. If you need more time, just tell me to stop for a second as you're doing the same thing I'm doing. So this tree has more lines. I'm going to make the top of that tree recede. So I put less line, I'm going to put more water and make it go back by putting less line and doing a stroke. Are you folks seeing this? Or should I?
Yeah, we're seeing
Okay. So far, so good? going to make the area between these two trees a little darker. So number one, this light tree will come out, and number two, this one right here will hold its place in value correctly. So watch out. I want this area to be darker, so watch how I do this, because you folks are gonna do this at home on your own. So I want this area right here darker. Is everyone watching? Because this is the key here. This is how we get it done. Even though I'm at an angle, and even though my paper should be a little more flat, I'm gonna attempt to do it, but this is how we accomplish a dark area. Lots of lines, plenty of lines. Now that I have all my lines, plenty of lines, I come in and moist brush. Not overly saturated, just moist. And with the same brush, I was gonna go up with the same brush, but it's wet, so I'm gonna hold back and kind of give a little more detail on this tree that's over here. Is everyone with me? There's an area back here that is dark, but it's showing the pine trees in the back. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna make an interpretation of those pine trees back there, and that area is gonna be very, very dark as well. So, again, lots of lines. Less water. We can go a little darker, but since I have wet there, I have to wait for that to dry. What we're gonna do is go on to the next exercise. Here, more or less, I know that when you see it, you guys are saying, well, that looks nothing like, let's say, what I have on the actual drawing, but at least the idea. What time is it?
It's 3:37.
So, the large sheet, the pilot pen, the original, right? And, we're not gonna copy anything, I just want you guys to do a shape, but I want you, up. What I want you to concentrate is how this pen reacts different than the other one, and how it lends itself for washes, better washes. So make, yes,
Paper. Okay.
let it be,
Which pen is the better one?
yeah, the paper and this pen,
Okay,
okay?
yeah.
So, for the sake of, I don't know, I mean, let's just make a shape, maybe a cloud or something, just make a shape, right? Let's make any shape. the large paper. The
Which,
large paper.
which one?
The large paper, the sketch paper, right?
With the pilot pen?
This is the pen that we use in the pen with the
Yellow,
yellow
okay,
top.
got it.
Everybody got the yellow top?
Yes.
Large paper, yellow top, right.
Okay.
Do any shape,
Any
and
shape, okay.
pick an area in that shape. Let's say I'm gonna choose here, and I'm gonna do my squiggly lines right there. Load your brush with water, and go in there and do your wash. I want you to notice how the water just flows. It flows better than the other paper. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
It is bluish, but it moves more, more freely.
Yeah.
When you're doing like clouds or you're doing like distant mountains and you're using this paper, this pen, this paper, it gives you nicer,
Oh, wow.
nicer washes. See, I heard a wow.
Yeah.
Now, if we go, let's say, let's try to do a little dark area with it. So let's choose this area right here, right, and do that area a little darker. So we're gonna do closer lines, right? Lots of water, and look at this. I want you guys to see this. Look at this paper, allows you to move that wash around, and you can control the darkness of it better than the other one that was a little harder. Did you notice this?
Yes.
So use it to your advantage. Look at that. Right?
So are you saying to do these pictures, it's better to use the flat paper that's almost like cardstock?
What I'm saying is that each paper reacts differently. This paper, the large one, reacts good to the pilot pen with washes. The other one, for texture, for more detail work. But this one right here, I want you to see. You see that? You know, if you're doing something that takes clouds, if you're doing something that you need to lay and wash, it's better to use this pen with that paper. It gives you beautiful washes. This was not the thing. You didn't get the thing. Oh, insurance, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I gave everybody 5. I'm sorry, just bear with me, because I have someone that did not get.
You want one of these? They have extras?
You're so sweet that you're not complaining about that. Now
You're working hard.
So, yeah,
And now it's kind of free.
you were there, what? You any shape? Close, 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 close. There we go. A little bit of shape here, okay? Notice how this paper, look at that. Notice? Notice, right?
Yeah.
Notice the difference?
Very much.
Right? Now, and this is it, guys, that you have to, on your own, practice, see how does this pen react with this thing, depending on what you do. So like I said, it's a living technique, not my technique, it will be your technique, because based on what I'm demonstrating here to you, what I've already discovered, you're gonna take that and make it your own. So notice, these are the things that I would have never known if I was happy with the paper that I originally started with. Notice how this paper worked, because it's smooth. This is the original pilot pen, and look at those washes. You could do wonderful things with these washes. The other paper was too primitive, right? Notice the difference? Look how much you struggle with this paper. I'm not saying this paper is bad. What I'm saying is this paper lends itself to dry brush, and for you to have texture, this one, nice cloud, you know, yes.
What is the system? What is the one that I just used here for the wash?
This pen is the original, it's called Pilot, it's a Pilot pen, Pilot Razor. It's the original one. It was, they made it in 1974, when we were in high school, it was 29 cents. I think we're almost gonna run out of time, so real quickly, let me show you guys the, okay, for the belly wash, which is, I said it was gonna be hard, right? So far, we do have the different types of paper with different pens for you to experiment. The hardest technique right now that we are going to try to attempt to do will be the belly wash. And, so, any questions regarding what we've done so far?
Joe, I have a question. The razor pen, you're supposed to hold in the water.
Yeah.
Wow.
What, am I misunderstanding something? Didn't you
No,
say
no, 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 no,
something?
no, what it is the V7,
V7, the
V7 upside down, which is
Upside
upside down
down.
a little bit, but if you
Little bit
dump,
of water.
if you dump it all in the water, it's not gonna work anymore.
Or how much water do you need?
Just a little bit, that's what we're gonna second cup.
Oh, here, I got it.
Just a little bit of water, a little bit, that's it, and you have it in there like this. That's it, you have it like that.
Okay.
And
And now it's supposed to come out of there? What is it?
Very long time.
You did you dump it?
Yeah, I had it in here for like a half hour.
Use another one.
Alright, and again, so this is what I have.
It's not gonna work. Like I said, look,
right there.
don't let the technique, stress you. This is supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be a discovery. So guess what? Thank you, you're coming back. You're coming back. That guy over there that paints with me out in the field. Anyway, the idea is this, it's a learning experience, right? So what, you learn one thing. Don't dump the whole pen in water, which is fine. I did it. And I'm giving you the experience that I had to go through duplicating Nelly. I mean, it is still difficult right now because I'm putting myself all out there. But some of you maybe pay attention, some of you put it a little bit, some of you put it not. Doesn't matter anyway, we don't have time. Let's try to duplicate the Nelly wash. And so, what we'll do is, I think that actually using the large paper, I think this might work to our benefit actually, since some of us, this, I think that it might work with a big one. Okay? Because this one absorbs more.
So the other side?
You could do the other side, and I have more paper, right? What happened was, testing the paper, I bought a pack of 150 pages. And I'd rather give it to you guys to practice because I'm not gonna use them.
I have.
So, all of you, young ladies, especially you have a lot of drawing to do in your life. You can take as much paper as you need, okay? You guys can take as much paper as you need, the Fabriano. I think this is what we're gonna try to attempt to do Miss Nelly.
This one?
The big paper, the big one, the big paper. Let's see if we can do this, guys, and then we're gonna call it a day. Hopefully it will work. And let me show you how it looks like when we do it. See, what this demonstrates is that a lot of the ink got to a tip and it's accumulated there. And that's what happened to me when I got frustrated, when I dumped my pen. I couldn't duplicate Nelly, I went to sleep. There was a little bit of water left in the cup, and being annoyed, I just dropped the pen in the cup and went to sleep. I came back the next and I go, what is this? I said, this leaks. And I said, let me try it. And that's how I accomplished Nelly a second time, because the first time was just a gift from God. So now, those of you, okay, look at that, good, right? We'll attempt it, look,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, you got me? So remember when I told you that Nelly got a big old butt? Okay, real small. This is, actually, I want to save this and the ink that accumulated there, and I'm gonna use the other pilot pen to do an outline.
Here.
Okay. You need it.
I know, but.
I have lots of pen. Somebody can show up, sorry. So using the other pen, right, the pilot pen, just to do an outline. And I'm gonna do the shape of Nelly, which is actually in her shape, and I'm not even looking at her. I'm gonna turn the paper around and do like a pear. It doesn't have to be exactly, but I'm thinking of a pear. Nelly got a big old butt, let's say that's Nelly. Do you see the pear?
It's hard to see the fine line, but yeah, I can see.
Okay,
it.
there's a pear there, anyway.
Yeah.
So now, that's just the shape of the pear. I am going to saturate it with water maybe I should use the other paper. We'll put water in there, only on the shape of the pear that I did. Can you folks see that or no?
Uh-huh.
Right?
I can see what you're doing.
Okay, everyone could see that?
Yep.
So I drew the shape, it's supposed to be Nelly, and now I'm going to take the pen that has ink at the bottom, right? And I'm going to just, look, you see that?
Yeah.
You see that? Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Let me hear you say, yeah.
Yeah.
No, not the pen. No, you're gonna have to try it. Look at my video, look at the video and try it at home, because if you go with your pen, I want you to pay attention to what I'm doing,
Yeah.
because this is what's gonna help you later on your own.
So just think it's all about experimentation. and
Yes,
figuring things
it
out.
is, like, it's an evolving technique.
right.
What you're doing right now, on your own, you are gonna make it your own technique, and that's what I mean. It's not my technique, it's gonna be your technique when you determine what it takes for you to accomplish this shape of the Nelly wash. So now, with the brush being a little, not wet, I'm gonna push that shape around a little bit to Nelly's shape. Look at this. And the paper is kind of, it's staying in the middle, so I'm gonna move it around a little bit. It's not gonna go to the area that's not wet, but look what I'm doing, because the paper is not as absorbent as the other one, but it's giving me what I want, which is a dark wash, okay? Notice how it stays within the boundary of the shape that I initially wet. That's important. Whatever shape you're doing, that's where this water, this dark inky water is gonna travel to. Is everybody looking at this?
Yeah.
Yes, okay? The famous Nelly wash. She's gonna be more famous than me. One day, I will not be known, but everybody will know Nelly. And I don't mind. So the other paper will have absorbed this already, but it will have been much harder to accomplish it. So right now, you know, if I take my brush, take out the excess water and try to get this out of there so it doesn't accumulate too much. And under normal circumstances, once this dries up, you
And
can
paper
do.
towel would be too absorbent, right? That's why you're doing it
No,
with a brush.
paper, yeah, no, it would be too absorbent. So here you go, look. And again, today, the day is very humid. Outside, with the temperature being high and dry, this will have already dried up, and that's what I mean. The unknown, why you have to practice. There's always something different. This is the third time I've been early, and right now I'm finding out things that I didn't know before. But the important thing is how you attack it. You did a shape, you saturated that shape with water, let it sit a little bit. This is what makes washes this dark possible. That you take your D7 pen, not the original pilot pen with yellow. You take the other pen, you have used it all afternoon like we did. Obviously, a lot of the ink has accumulated at the bottom. Even this is too much water, what I have here. You put less water than what I have here,
Yeah.
and you drop your pen in there and let it sit as you do your shape, saturate it in water. Then you will come take this and just tap it like I did, and that is the Nelly wash. It is kind of difficult, and you're gonna have to kind of practice a lot, you know. But if you look at it, the day is a little humid. I'm still working, but remember this: the area that you started with, the area that you saturated, that shape doesn't change, and the ink kind of stays in this neighborhood. It just stays in there. Are you noticing this?
Yeah.
And you can use this for a lot of different things as you're working. It can be a still life, but why do a still life at home with a fountain pen and a brush when you can have actual ink? So I'm just saying, you know, it has a lot of potential, a lot of different applications, but this right here is how you accomplish a Nelly wash. Let's assume, let's say, okay, that this is already dry, and we're going on to the next step. The next step will be to detail her face, and that will be done with this pen that is already saturated, And hopefully, if we didn't put water, you can still get the ink. If it doesn't, then you will not have to let it dry unless you have two pens. In this situation, we only have one, so the ink is gonna be there, and I don't have a picture of, let me see if I can get a
The picture's right there.
Yep, there you go. Are you folks seeing it? Can you
Yeah.
see Nelly?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we know what it is. And by the way, since everything worked out well, I do have ink on my pen. Okay, I'm gonna go like this. We'll use some of the same water. Take it out, put it here, stretch it in here.
Yeah.
Guys are following?
Yep.
Everybody's following?
Yep.
There's a leg right here, but I don't want to go in this area because it's still wet. So we'll do a little bit of a face. Her face comes up a little bit more than her butt, so it's over here. Then there's a nice big circle. A circle. Is my hand underwear or you guys can see?
No,
Let's see it.
watching.
Actually, it's up in here. And I think that should have been a little more up here, but that can be changed. That can definitely be changed.
Interesting.
Notice how I'm getting my dots, lots of little squiggly lines, chicken scratch lines, right? And that's gonna be my dark area. How much water will be determined right now. More or less, guys, I mean, no pressure, but more or less. You guys see it, correct?
Yeah.
More importantly than me being accurate is using the technique itself and how it works. That's the important thing here. And again, with practice, you will get better, I will get better, and I think that more or less we have a little depiction of her. Even though I'm very inaccurate, you can tell what it is, and at least you get an indication of the technique and how it will be used, more or less, okay?
I noticed that you use it when you're drawing, that you're drawing it on an angle. Is that a better way to use that anytime?
I don't wanna have my hands in front of the
Way.
camera,
Oh, okay,
and it's
okay.
very, and trust me, it's very difficult,
Yeah,
but